Hello everyone. Today's video is on dimensions of maxillary teeth um, as it relates to a population of North American descent. So without further ado, we'll go on to the maxillary teeth. So there are certain dimensions that we'll be looking at today. So we have the first of all the mesiodistal dimensions. So if you're looking at the maxillary sentinel incisor from the facial aspect, so uh, this is the mesiodistal dimensions, where the mesial side and the distal side, when we draw a line from the mesial aspect to the distal aspect, this is known as the mesiodistal dimension. The other dimension that we'll be looking at is the faciolingual dimensions, and this is from the facial aspect till the lingual aspect, and similarly from the mesial aspect. So the the first dimension is the mesiodistal dimension, the second is the faciolingual dimension, and then we'll be looking at the crown length. The crown length starts from the incisal edge till the cervical line. So, and similarly here from the incisal edge to the cervical line. And then we have the root length. The root starts from the cervical line till the apex. Similarly here from the cervical line till the apex. So we'll be looking at only of these four dimensions, and we'll be comparing them as well. So we'll start off with the sentinel incisor. The mesiodistal dimensions is around 8.5 and the faciolingual dimension is 7.5. And what does that mean? It actually means that the sentinel incisor is uh, wider mesiodistally than it is faciolingually, and the same is for the lateral incisor. Although the lateral incisor is smaller than the sentinel incisor, around 6.5, and its facial lingual dimension is 6, but still its mesiodistal dimensions are greater than their facial lingual dimensions. And this is true for all the maxillary anterior teeth except the canine. For canine, what we see here is that the facial lingual dimensions, they exceed the mesiodistal dimensions. So the canine is the only anterior tooth whose facial-lingual dimensions are uh, greater than their mesiodistal dimensions. And the root length of both the sentinel incisor and the lateral incisor are the same. It's around 13 millimeters. All of these dimensions are taken in millimeters. And then the longest root in the maxillary teeth is of the canine. It's an average of 17 millimeters. As far as first premolar is concerned, the first premolar and the second premolar, they both have the mesiodistal dimensions at 7 millimeters, while their facial dimensions are of around now 9 millimeters. So their facial dimensions are greater than their mesiodistal dimensions, and their root length is also slightly longer than the sentinel incisor and the lateral incisor by 1 millimeter. Now we come to the first maxillary molar. The first maxillary molar, the facial-lingual dimensions are greater than their mesiodistal dimensions, and if you just compare the dimensions of the maxillary molar, the facial-lingual dimensions are longer than any of those teeth. Similarly, the mesiodistal dimensions are greater than any other tooth in the maxillary arch. Uh, so the second molar is slightly smaller than the maxillary first molar, with its mesiodistal dimensions being 9 millimeters as compared to the 10. The crown length is also slightly less, and the root length is also by 1 millimeter shorter than the maxillary first molar. So if we summarize, the mesiodistal dimensions of sentinel incisor, maxillary sentinel incisor, and maxillary lateral incisor are greater than the facial lingual dimensions, while from the canine onwards, uh, canine first premolar, second premolar, and the first molar, second molar, the facial lingual dimensions, they exceed the mesiodistal dimensions, and the longest root of any maxillary tooth is of canine, and it's around uh, an average of uh, 17 millimeters. So I hope this video has been informative. And these, why do we study these dimensions? These dimensions are studied whenever we're performing root canal treatment, or even whenever we are restoring the crown length of these teeth. So, but then again, these are there are many variations to the norm, and the root length can fluctuate. So that is why an X-ray or an intraoral periapical radiograph is needed whenever we are performing root canal treatment. Okay, so thank you.